Welcome everybody to another video from Max Laser, and today we are going to be pushing the Thunderbolt to its very limits. I have got a design that is going to test the Thunderbolt right to breaking point, and that is the idea. I actually want to see how fine the design has to be until the Thunderbolt cannot engrave anymore. And then I'm going to show you what to do if you do have very fine detail, what to do to actually make the Thunderbolt or the laser machine eventually engrave correctly, the desired effect that you're looking for. But I'm really going to be pushing the boundaries today. So let's go have a look and see how far we can push the Thunderbolt. Okay, so here I use my magnets. I like these magnets, nice, big, round, 30mm diameter and flat. And here I'm just doing the normal laser cutting for the wedding invitation. So I had initially, I went more in focus on the Z-axis of 1.6. So if you're not too sure about the more in focus and out of focus, go have a look at my other videos. But I wanted to get a more of a frosted look. And the problem with that when you're doing fine detailed work is that you lose the detail when you try to go for a frosted finish. So it wasn't at the usual autofocused height, which is 2.3. And that's what I thought, let me rather go for that. I also found that when I was at this 2.3 Z-axis height, it was a whiter engraving finish, so which was also quite nice. And also it brought in more of the detail because I was vaporizing it instead of melting it. So there you can see there's more detail on the dandelions, but I'm still losing it on the leaves of the dandelions that are blowing away there. So you can see that I'm not 100% happy. So that's when I changed it to the settings on Corel Draw, and I made it a little bit thicker, 0.2 point, and I made it thicker, and that's where I was able to get the detail. I didn't want to overbear it, or I didn't want to make it too thick. I still liked it where it's nice and fine and detailed, so I didn't make the hairline too thick on the original design, and I'm happy with that result now. Okay, so this is the file design. So for the wedding invitation, and yeah, you can see that the dandelion gets pretty fine at the top here. You know, it's pretty small, it's fine. It's very difficult to actually engrave. And yeah, a lot of machines are going to struggle with this, because even when you zoom out, you can just basically see it. That's just all it is. It's just a hairline, really. It's just crazy. It's just, if you really zoom in, you can actually see the detail and stuff like that. So a lot of machines are, all the machines fitted with glass tubes will definitely not be able to engrave this. The metal tube even struggled to do this, and obviously I wanted it to fail, so, and it did. So you have to do a couple of changes on the design itself in order for it to actually come out where you can actually see the engraving. Because sometimes, no matter what, some designs will be so fine and thin that it won't even come out, you know, on the machine. So this is the original design, and if you had to send this like this through to Lightburn, so if I just had to go and save as, I save it as an AR file, I save it as a laser engraving, I'll just go over there, resave over it, and I'll do it as curves. I always do it like, put curves on there for the text. And then I'll go to File, Import, and then I'll go to Laser Engraving. So over here, I just want to change everything to black for engraving, and red for cutting. And this is the file now. But when you zoom into the dandelion, you can see there's a lot of layers that looks correct on Corel, but when you import it into Lightburn, you can see that it's not as one. It's just a lot of layers over each other. And what's gonna happen is that if you laser engrave this, you're gonna have all these little white non-engraved areas coming through on your design, and that's what you don't want. You want everything to be solid, so when you engrave, that whole piece will be a solid engraved area. right now there's just a whole lot of scattered marks everywhere, and it's actually all over the design. So that's not ideal. So I'm going to delete that, and then I'm just going to, what you need to do, you need to weld this all together. So then you are basically you in Lightburn, it will see it as one complete design. So therefore, when you engrave it, everything will be engraved perfectly as one complete design. And I'll just center that quickly. Then I'll go save as, and I'll do it as an AR file again. And curves. Alright, so now when we import this file, we can now zoom up, and there we go. So now that is one grouped or combined file, that it's not layers on top of layers. Now Lightburn sees it as one. So if you guys were struggling with that, where you're sending some files through to Lightburn, a lot of times you have to weld the areas together, and then it will see it as one. Also, you can actually see that things aren't 100%, because from Corel Draw, you can click on something and drag it across, and you can see that it's not as one. So that's a good test to see if everything is grouped as one, or welded and combined as one complete design. So in the first design, we could see that I tried to do it being frosted, which didn't really come out too great with the designs and stuff like that. So obviously I went more in focus. It was a little bit more aggressive on the engraving, a little bit more whiter, and then I got more detail. But I was still losing the detail here on the leaves that were flying away from the dandelion, and that was the issue there. And also on this dandelion here with the stems, that there I was also losing a little bit of detail, and a little bit of here as well. And that's not what I really liked. I actually still wanted the detail to be shown on the final result. So the only way to do that, if you get a design like this, the only way to do this, to make it easier for the laser machine to engrave, is I have to go and do an outline. So I have to right click on the color palette, set outline color, and then it can go a little bit darker, as you can see. But now this, for me, is a little bit too bold. I still want that nice, fine, detailed finish. So over here on your outline, you can actually, you can make how thick you want that outline to be. So I'll just make it 0.2. And then what you need to do, you need to go to Object. And then you need to convert outline to object, because you want the actual design to see the outline. The problem now is that you're going to have your previous design still within the design. So now you're going to have to select the whole design, and then you go to shaping, and then you go to weld. Now welding will actually make everything as one. It shouldn't be any change in the design where you've got an underlying layer. So now the weld will actually make everything whole. So then when you import it to Lightburn, that's when I had the final result, where it was actually nice and clear, where nothing was fading away. There was no loss in detail. So if you want to make sure everything is okay, you can actually move it, and you can see that everything is whole. Is over here, you can see. So as you drag the design across, you can see everything. It's a little bit more solid, a little bit more thicker. Plus, you can see the design now is one whole design. There's no break, and that's what you want, and that's the key to make the design a little bit easier for the laser machine to engrave on. So then what I would do is then just do the usuals. where I would save it as an AR file for me. I would resave that. I always got a habit of saying curves. And then I would just then import this through to Lightburn, and that's it here. And that was my final design. And on the settings, what I had for the cutting was 30 millimeters per second, air assist on, 65% power, and this was 3 millimeter clear cast acrylic. And on the engraving settings, I had it at 1000 millimeters per second, air assist off, 18% power at 500 dpi, which was also interval of 0.05. And this was the final design. So if you guys are struggling where you've got some designs and when you send it over, it's not engraving 100%, it's missing certain areas, you can weld it. That will help. If you've got designs where it's very fine, where it's basically just going past breaking point, you will have to then bold up the design a little bit and then convert outline to object, weld it, and then you would have an image that will be perfect. So I was very happy with the final result of the wedding invitation. So yeah, these are my settings, and I hope that helps. Thanks for watching the video today. I really do appreciate it. I hope that you guys have learned a couple of tricks that needs to be done when you are exporting the design. But the Thunderbolt, honestly, without doing any tricks, can really engrave some really fine detailed work. So I'm very, very impressed with the machine. But yes, on another note, we do sell this acrylic. So if you do want to purchase from us, that will be great. And thanks so much again for watching, and I will see you guys on the next video. Cheers.